Welcome back. Good afternoon. Few minutes to close. Not much has changed at close. So not much has changed. I was teetering with some things here. Bring up the watch list. Teetering with some things at close, or going into close just based on what we've seen, confirmation of the same thing. So no fireworks at close. Anyone that was hoping that there'd be death, there would be rallies, none of those things happen. NASDAQ from its big day yesterday, having a pretty break even day, right on the dot, right on the nose, right on support. The SPY, oh, a little bit of lag there. Increasing a little bit with value. Value doing very well today, so you're going to see as we go through here. NASDAQ break even. SPY up a little bit more. S&P doing a little bit better from the value side. And then if we look at the big boys in the room, small cap value up another 2% today. Again, killing it. Really just killing it from the start. And again, everything holding value through the day. So from the open, everything has basically traded flat. So besides a little bit of volatility during the day. And then if we look at the nightly news play, the Dow has been the strongest through the entire day. The Dow has been the strongest. So again, Dow Jones, not Dow Inc., but Dow Jones. Dow Inc. is in a part of the Dow Jones. But here you go, trending on the upturn, onto the upside the entire day. Important to see that. Coming into close again, we don't see anything, so nothing too much. If we look at the dollar for the day, here you go. That's the story of the day. Literally the story of the day. That's the feeling of the day. Was, oh, okay, back to where we were. Back to where we were. We'll make a decision afterwards. Now this is again the dollar. So in terms of whether that's supposed to mean fear or something, no. The volatility hasn't moved. Nothing's moved. Nothing's changed. Right? Nothing has changed. Yesterday, did yesterday make anything change? Has not actually. Has not actually made anything change overall. So keeping that very much in mind. Individual tickers. We'll get into individual tickers once the bell rings here. Obviously, there's some names that can be continued to be mentioned from open, but nothing new really standing out. There's a couple things. We're not going to go over some of the other silly things that have popped off today, but let's see what we get in the last minute. Value just holding. I don't see options aren't moving very much. Again, we got most of the shit out of the way in the open, so. Tomorrow we have one more day of auctions for bonds. Otherwise, nothing much. Let's see. Looks good. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. We'll see. This will be more of a story, as if tech comes off the level. That would be the bigger story. Something happens in the last 20 seconds or so. I don't really care about after hours today, or really, much of. Again, accuracy falls off with the volume. So while the volume's high here, we'll get some accuracy. Otherwise, don't care. So let's see what we get here. 5 seconds. Oh, shit. I wanted to place that trade. Nah. Just kidding. Just woke up. Fuck. All right, 4 o'clock. Good job, trader. Now you can look at your P&L, see how you did today. Figure out if you need to get the rope or get the Kermit Coke emote out. Figure that out quick. Some people are still paddling back. They were in the middle of the lake. They're paddling back right now. Maybe they'll join in a little bit. They had to get the hell out of Dodge to make sure that they did not sell all of their positions when they don't need to. That's obviously a very important part of today. All right, let's take a look at some things. We've already seen, again, the Dow. I'm going to bring it to the daily now that we're done. The biggest question coming into this week was value is great. Everyone's rotating into value. Great, whatever. Who cares? That's how markets work. The question was little old value in terms of its slow, no risk, really low volatility trend, was that going to turn into momentum? This week, we've answered the question. We have an answer. There is momentum in the value market. So that was, again, this week. We were looking, is there going to be momentum on the other side of the aisle which is usually a growth specific trait. Momentum. The momentum trade has turned towards the value side. So we've gotten confirmation of that idea. That's big deal. And especially considering yesterday on the NASDAQ putting 4% on, and quite the interruption from what we've seen to start the week. I mean, it's only Wednesday, but still, coming in to begin the week, that would have been quite the interruption. It hasn't actually changed the story whatsoever. So a lot of different things going on and a lot of opportunities, right? A lot of opportunities because there's the chance that you missed. I know a lot of you think of it as like, oh, missed the boat, so now I got to do something else. Well, then you had a great chance this week because you would have been able to do multiple different things. You could have thrown a dart, right? All day, green day yesterday. You don't really make very good money on a day like that if you're not already in position because, again, things gap and then everyone's just buying the same thing. So if everyone's making the same play, it's just not the same, right? If everyone's expects something to happen, then there is no money to be made, right? Maybe you squeeze some points out of the perma bears, but you're not really going to get much out of it, right? So today, break even. I would say it's a pretty good day for the growth side, considering the move yesterday. It stayed within the support. It stayed on the support. That's a pretty damn good day. We're respecting this trend line now, understanding, okay, we're going to get a question of whether or not this side is going to consolidate the move or not. Because again, this trend line coming down, this could just continue to consolidate down this way, tighten, and then make a move. Again, the sooner it breaks out of the consolidation, the bigger of a move it's going to be to the upside. So that question, we're looking for an answer. Is it tomorrow? Is it the next day? Is it maybe Friday? These sort of things matter in terms of a consolidation here. Where's the trend line down here? Is it this trend line? That doesn't really make much sense. That would mean a flag. So again, are we breaking out of a weekly flag here? We're looking for answers to these questions, right? And we're trying to figure out what the hell was this day here yesterday and why was there no reaction anywhere else? You don't just get 4% on the NASDAQ and then get no response anywhere else. The Dow Jones did fucking 1.5% today. Those things don't add up. These things don't add up, right? So again, let's keep all these things in mind. Keep all these things in mind. So, yawn at DIA, need 4%. Exactly. Need 4%. What a slow day over here, right? It's like, hey, man, you're only targeting like 5.5% on this thing. Why is that such a big deal? Why? Because you can you can times that by 100. Times it by 100. Times it by 100. That's what the fucking play is, right? And that's the difference. I'm going to look at some charts, show you guys some charts here. We were looking at these earlier, obviously. Something like BRKB. Oh, what's going on here? Right click's all fucked up. Something like this. This is not a very big point move, right? You can look at my target. My target's actually almost exactly the same as the Dow target, just different time. It's obviously doubled that move, but again, also to answer LSU's question of, oh, if it reaches the target, do I just sell it? No, that's ridiculous. You don't just randomly reach a target and then sell it. You continue to push a position based on the rules. If it hasn't reversed, you don't do anything. But again, a position like this, you're only talking about 1% or so. It's almost, the average here is almost just 1% every week, 2% a week. It's not very much, but it is a lot. It's just the difference between, it's relative. It's relative. These candles could be 10, 20%. Who fucking knows? Depends on what the chart is, right? These could be 20% candles. Who knows? You just need to know what the name is, know what the price is. So again, it depends. And again, it's the difference between growth is always volatile. Growth is always moving, always getting momentum, always making big moves back and forth. And so there's already a level of volatility that's higher. The difference is on the value side, there's barely any fucking volatility. They're defensive stocks. They're defensive. They barely move. When the market's crashing, they barely can, they start to roll over, right? They start to roll in their grave because they haven't moved, right? Yeah, last year they had the worst year ever. They had the worst year ever. And you buy them because they're cheap, right? That's the only reason why you'd ever buy them is because they're cheap. Well, they got really fucking cheap last year, and so again, it's been a big shift. They're gaining some momentum. It's still important, and a lot of you are like, "Oh, I don't give a fuck." Well, I don't care if you don't give a fuck. The reality is people are going to make money. So if you want to make money, then great. If you want to lose money, then great. No one cares. So you will become relevant, right? There's the difference. There's a lot of people that are becoming irrelevant, right? That's what happens. You can have somebody that makes money and then the next day they have none. Now they're irrelevant. One day people could have a lot of people that listen to them and then the next day no one listens to them. They're irrelevant. It's the ones that continue to make the moves, continues to be consistent, make something out of maybe what others think there's nothing there, right? Sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes you can trade what everyone else is doing, which again, there's trades like today. DraftKings, an important trade to still understand because these are the trades you can't miss. We bought this on Friday on a pullback. Why? Because retail is going to be all over it. That's what they do. So what can we do? Well, I would have to imagine that we can beat 1/5 of the volume in the market, which is retail, where they basically get all their ideas from headlines, build stories. How do I know? Because I know you guys. I've got a great outlet of people here that all, as a compilation, are trying to make money, but we all have faults, and on an average, make up a body of people that we call retail, and they make decisions in a very similar way, and it's very easy to understand how they'll react to certain situations, right? So buying this here, this doesn't really take much theory or crafting, doesn't really take much of anything. It just basically is taking what is this group going to do and how can I take advantage of it? Oh, if I just buy before they're about to buy and then sell before they're about to sell, that's all I have to do. And then I don't need to be even exact. Oh, perfect. So again, that's why we take these kind of trades into the weekend because again, there's a level of risk of pushing a trade over the weekend. Ooh, there's going to be some risk there. And just pushing that trade as it gets momentum. Again, the whole point here, yes, you can take the trade off on Monday, right? If you do a really risky trade. But the point here is that you can push it because momentum starts. What do retail traders do? They chase. They push things in momentum. Why? Because it's, oh, I can get it before it stops going up. I can get it as it goes up. People don't buy things unless they see it's going up. We know that's how it is. If you don't see something going up, what was the chart today? ET, right? You guys are looking at it and you don't know if it's going up or not. And so you have to wait for it to go up further to confirm that it's going up. That's what you do, right? I'm just saying that's what we all do. We have to see it's moving towards the upside to confirm that it's fucking doing that, right? That's what we all do. But the people who are going to make the most money are the ones that realize a little bit sooner. You just realize a little bit sooner that, oh, okay, it is doing that, right? This is a good example. This today, you guys all said it at the same time. That's exactly the difference. That's literally the difference. This candle here is right when you guys all started typing into chat because you see this and you all realize at the same moment that something's happening, but you're still not sure. You just see it, but you're not sure if this confirms it or not, right? Am I right or am I wrong? And look where price is. You guys see it, but then it takes you a little bit longer to finally realize, right? It's really important to understand this concept and the reason why we take advantage of this moment, because if you're able to do this just 5 minutes before, maybe right even as it happens, you're going to make a lot of fucking money because you're not doing anything special. You're not really, there's really nothing that you're doing that's that much better than someone else. It's just in that moment, you're able to pull the trigger sooner. And you don't need someone to slap you in the face to know you're going to get slapped, right? These things, they're pretty obvious, right? You don't need to run into traffic to know whether or not you're going to get hit by a fucking car, right? Like, oh, here comes a bus. I wonder if I run in front of the bus, I'm going to get hit by the fucking bus. You get hit by the bus and you go, holy shit, fuck me, I got hit by a bus. Like, it's common sense. It's not always common sense in this moment, and that's, again, where the experience comes from. So I'm trying to say, in hindsight, it seems like common sense. It's in the moment. It will become common sense if you do it enough, right? And you're only going to find out by actually making the trade or by continuing to look at tickers and study this shit and do it, right? So, again, these things become more natural. You'll get better at it, right? And that's, again, where you can utilize being a part of it right now, that's a part of building on the experience, is that you'll be able to then take advantage of the people that are just like you now. Or as you were before. Some of you have grown out of it, the growing pain, and now you're somewhere else, right? Keep those ideas in mind. All right. other retail kind of tickers that we need to talk about, things like GoPro. I mention a lot when it's in the $8 range, how it, maybe I should preempt this. What's going on right now? Gamma squeeze because of March monthlies, right? So everything that has specifically is very option oriented, which is the entire market, but specifically retail tickers that are all options getting gamma squeezed are doing great. GoPro, I talk about a lot. $8 range is where the options really start getting hot. It's just like the $10 range on just about every ticker. $10, things really start to get going. On GoPro, it's $8. Why? I don't fucking know. That's just where the value is, and we've talked about it. It doesn't even move in here, but you're gaining a lot on options, right? Same thing's happening here. What's this candle? It's a gamma squeeze. It's getting squeezed because the options now are getting intrinsic value. Market makers that are writing the calls are buying the underlying. Again, it's a story that's told again and again. If you don't understand it, then, there's comments in chat. You can just fucking search for gamma squeeze. You'll see comments. Again, we're not going to do the lesson right now. So again, very important to see this candle here and to realize the opportunity that's there. Again, it doesn't need to be a big position, but take advantage of what's in front of you, right? It's very important to be able to take advantage of that. If you missed that trade, then I'm guessing you got this kind of trade somewhere else. There's some other trades where very similar things are going, and even artificially. So I'm going to go through the motions here. So RAD, what are we looking at right now? We're looking at basically retail stores. And a lot of you just figured out today that XRT, its biggest holding is actually GME, which is one of the funniest things that, again, I talk about all the time, that you guys buy shit and you don't even know what you're buying half the time. And then it makes it even more ironic when you guys ask, hey man, so I bought this thing. I don't know exactly where it's going, when it's going to get there, or what it's going to do, or what I should do. So can you tell me what I should do with this thing that I don't know what it is? And then you go, holy shit, I just did a Google search and I just found out that there's actually this thing that I know about called GME in this thing that I didn't know what it was before, and I didn't know where it was going. And then I saw GME going down today, and now I see why that thing was going down. You guys literally all did this today, and you're like, holy fuck me. This is absolutely bonkers. These charts are really similar. And now you're going, holy shit, wait a second. The Dawn was talking about all these charts that had this big rally over here coming into February, from end of January to February, had these charts. It traded flat with all the supply for a while, and they're all breaking out right now. Does anyone remember the 25 to 30 charts that I talked about that look like this, that we have been trading every day? And then all of a sudden, once the thing happens, and then everyone goes, holy shit, what's going on here? And then everyone goes, oh, wait a second, they're all retail stores. Right. That makes sense. So that's why they all look the same and they're all doing the same? Right. Anyway, these are all doing the same thing. We've talked about this, guys. Everything was breaking out. Everything got squeezed. Again, we have, there's way more than 25 to 30 charts now, but you know what I'm talking about. Everyone in chat could type a different ticker. The first thing that came on the head, everyone would type a different ticker because there's so many of them. The point being is, again, we've been talking about this move a lot. There's going to be a lot of volatility up here because, again, what's happening? They're getting violent moves because of a squeeze from the options, right? The underlying is just reacting to the options. So they get squeezed up and they get squeezed down. They get violent moves both ways. How do you manage a trade like this? You manage it by being aware that's what's fucking happening, right? It's not like you just bought a new Ferrari and it's the middle of the night and you don't know how to turn the lights on, and you just start driving in the fucking road with no lights on in a brand new Ferrari, and you're like, fuck, I really hope I don't crash, and I don't really know the road well. These things are ridiculous. You would never do that. You would just never do that. That's really stupid, right? Well, that would be really stupid if that's what you did here, is you got into your new car, you got going really fucking fast, and then you've got no clue what the fuck you're doing. And then if you crashed, and you literally crashed over here by selling it, then yeah, that's your own fault. So again, these things, it's the fact that something can be happening for weeks, and then all of a sudden people figure out what the hell's going on, right? Let's not do that. But a big day today. Again, these are big days for these tickers today, whether you're still in the position, whether you got fucked over here, you definitely learned something. You definitely learned something on these charts. And again, they've been great trades. These are great trades. No one should have got hurt on any of these trades because, again, if you lost money on this trade, that's literally fucking insane. You need mental help. You have to do something. There's something just wrong. There's something seriously wrong. Let's keep that in mind. There's something seriously wrong. If you're losing on a trade like this, it's not that it's a no-brainer. It's that there's only one way the trade can go. There's actually no other. I mean, there's just no way, right? So again, that would mean there's some fundamental problem. Not fundamentals. There's a fundamental problem there. So again, these are great trades. Really happy with that trade. I'm happy with the volatility. It does set up a level of trading over here that gets really exciting. I love trading after a big outside candle like this. That's just it's opening up a spread it's a level of implied volatility that people don't have an answer to. So it's a new problem to solve. You guys should love solving new problems every day. When things are solved, it's hard to make fucking money. When everyone knows what's happening and the market's solved, it's really difficult. It's really difficult. So when you get a day with some added volatility, that's perfect. That's what you want. All right, let's get to the next trade. From trades from yesterday, managing them, let's go through something like Z. This is something like a little bit easier to look at. What are you doing on a day like today? Okay, you bought Z yesterday on the trend line. It makes sense to do so. You're bullish on it from moves before. Obviously, yesterday tech was jumping off. Now Z was up 11% yesterday. So again, you need to remove the idea of percent, the idea of dollars. These things are you can't look at it through that lens. It needs to be based on the supply. What happened here? We knew there was converging levels of supply. How do you manage this trade today? I know there's people that sold this trade today. And I talked about it earlier, that if it sits in here, you don't get to make a decision till tomorrow. Now, some of you will go, well, it's up over 6%. Why would you ever sell it over here? Why? Because they're watching P&L, and you know what happened up over here? As soon as this broke out of the trend, this shit started going 20, 30% higher. Because that's what happens, because it looks like it's about to get to the next level. As soon as it doesn't, you know what happens with Gamma? Fucking tanks. And so over here, it looks like you're losing all of that. No, you're just coming back to where you started a little while ago, which is still being up almost 6.5% on the day. You don't get to decide based off of some 5-minute candles over here what you're doing. It would be a shame if you get stopped out of this or something. Again, I know that there's some issues with people trying to figure out how to trade these things that just sort of jump between levels. You have to just not look at the damn thing. You made a trade, stick with it. You have to trust yourself, have some confidence. If you're making money, don't make yourself lose more money. Don't lose the potential to make money, right? To make money, we need to be in the right place at the right time, and that always is a factor of potential. You need to have the potential to make money to be able to make the money in the first place. So if you exit a position, then you no longer have the potential because you have to re-enter it, which is usually at a higher average, and now you need to make another decision to enter, and you're going to fuck it up, right? This is the trade that you get to decide tomorrow. Okay, it's up again today, so it's going to need to really break down for you to exit this trade. This is a great trade to be in. It's a really straightforward trade to be in. Again, we've traded 100 times through the trend lines. Look at the move over here. Use this as a lesson with these candles here. If you get again, it could be 1-2 days that it does nothing here, but you're still up from where you entered. Are you going to exit it? Only if you had a great new fucking plan that was going to make more money that you knew for sure. If you don't know for sure, then no, you push it. Why? Because look, that's why, right? It doesn't mean it needs to happen again, but don't you think there's a chance? There's a chance there, and you're already in the position, so you did something, right? Again, push your positions, push your winnings. First of all, we don't sell. I'm talking about me, my method, what I do, and what I teach, and what I believe is the best strategy there is. I don't fucking sell anything. If there's a way I'm going to get out of position, it's because I got stopped out. I don't ever sell. Don't sell anything. I do take profit, which you could say, well, hey man, you're just fucking giving a semantics argument. No, I literally get stopped out. Or if I get to a point that's at least 100% on my contracts, and two things happen. Either I get rejected at resistance, and it's already been on my chart, I don't make it up and say, okay, now this is the top. Now I'm going to sell over here. Nope, it needs to be a resistance level I already have. If it gets rejected, I will take profit off that rejection. Or if it's a relative reversal, which is from where the start of a trend is into where the candle stops moving and halfway in between there. That's the only time. So one of those two things need to happen. Now, of course, you could say, well, what about the two candle thing? Yes, if there's two candles back to back, that would be indicating also a relative reversal because there's multiple days of new momentum to the downside. So again, well, isn't that making it more complicated? It fucking depends. You know what I'm saying. Don't even start. Right. I'm just playing. But again, push your winnings, guys. You gotta, the way you're gonna make profit again is to push those winnings, because you turn a position from 20% to 40% to 100%. Those are big differences, and the biggest difference is that you're already in the position. You don't have to find a new trade. That's what I think a lot of you miss, is that you've already entered the trade and it's already paying off. By exiting that position, now you have to find another good trade, which is now increasing the level of difficulty, increasing the risk. And again, there's going to be times when it's just not as good. You miss the point. You miss that timing. You miss the window, right? You miss the pullback. If you didn't enter over here, it's really fucking hard to enter now. Every single day that something goes up, it gets harder and harder to enter. How do I know? Because there's a lot of charts that continue to go up, and you guys keep having a real fucking hard time. And then every time it goes down, you're like, well, maybe this is the time I'll be able to get back in there. Again, these it's fucking hard, right? And so again, you want to be getting things when you can, and that's where you need to be able to push a position, because you need to know what's possible. And usually the part that's possible is that what you had for a plan is going to continue. If it doesn't, then you're just wrong, and it's okay. You'll get out of the position. You'll get stopped out. Something like this here. This is going to be a good example. I wrote it down. Something like this here, this trend here, right? Are you exiting on any of these pullbacks here? No, you're not exiting on any of these. If you exited here, it's because you had really short-term March monthlies, and that was the plan to begin with, that you were going to take profit on every short-term move and re-enter each time. Position through. Why? Because that's a part of the plan, and that's the best plan that there is. That's the best case scenario. We trade for best case scenarios, and if the best case scenario doesn't happen, then we get the fuck out. And how do we get the fuck out? We get stomped out. We literally get stopped out. Or there's a rejection, right? So if Dish comes up into this 36.43 tomorrow, gets rejected, posts a lower low, then okay, I'll take profit. Why? Because I'm transitioning. I want to transition. I'll take profit, transition, and re-enter on a pullback, right? Again, transitioning, that idea, you can make excuses for yourselves, right? All right, there's a few other things in terms of REITs. So again, REITs being a part of our big part of our value. They're super defensive, barely move. A lot of these got them to up into basically their retracement levels. I typed RPAI into chat. These things are pulling into basically the February of 2020, which is when the COVID crisis basically started. These are basically unknowns. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you. A lot of these are unknowns. Now, a lot of the charts I have targets and everything like that, but it's not that they're not going to be the same above those levels. There's no supply. They're going to react differently. There's going to be more volatility. And again, that's the whole point of value becoming momentum based. These sort of positions, you need to just push, and again, not fucking yourself, because again, you don't know just as much as the next person doesn't know. And so you're already in the position, so you're already in a better spot to begin with. So a lot of these, you got to give it some room. Otherwise, just get out of the position. Take the money home. Be happy with it. There's a lot of examples of this. I'm not going to go through all of them, but a lot of the REITs are getting up there. In terms of overall value, I'm going to show you, first of all, like our benchmarks of energy and banks, right? Again, another big fucking day on energy. And there's a big difference between this whatever, I mean, some of you call this a big pullback and shit. I have no idea, but I don't really care what you call it. A day like today, again, it puts so many points on your position. It's really insane, again, on a long-term position, because why? It's an indication, and basically you're projecting that something is going to happen based on a trend. That's what value does. If the move is happening, it's projecting further. It's not just today. It's like where tech will put a big point move on, and then everyone goes, well, I don't know if it's going to go up again tomorrow or next week. You don't really know. With value, if it starts, it's going to be really hard to fucking stop it. That's the whole point. That's literally the whole point. And so, again, these moves moving today, confirmation of the idea yesterday, not stopping it. It's so important to see this. 4% on the Nasdaq's a big fucking knee jerk of a day, jerked everybody. And I don't mean jerked off, maybe some people, but I'm just saying this confirmation today on the value side is pretty big, right? Banks 2% today. I mean, let's just be honest. You would have made significantly more money with banks in. I want you to think about this for a moment. From Friday, if you bought on the dip from Friday, if you bought banks or you bought the Nasdaq, the Qs, guess which one you would have made more money on? You would have made more money if you, let's just say, like April contracts. I looked at April contracts at the money. Do you know what you would have made more money on? XLF or Q's April at the money contracts on Friday's dip buy. You would have made more money on banks. So let's just be honest. If you don't fucking believe me, then go look, okay? Go look. So this has been trending up the whole time. You didn't even need to go bottom fishing. It just been trending up. You didn't have to do anything. So again, there's zero risk for this play. These things fucking matter. They matter, and again, the game is changing a little bit. Why? Because no one ever traded anything value related, and it's going to be a meme. I promise. It's going to turn into a meme. This whole Dow thing and value thing, it's been going on for a while, and I know you're sick of me hearing it, or sick of me saying it, but I mean, it makes me excited. Why? Because I can fuck off to Turks and Caicos finally and not have to do anything. Because again, there's money to be made. There's money on the table, and the people that realize it are the ones that, again, are going to continue to be ahead. And yeah, there's some people that are going to get hurt, right? Certainly, some people that are going to get hurt. What did I? Oh, GE. Sorry, I was brain farting. GE. Okay, here's a good example. Here's a good example of something coming and affecting price. How do you manage this position today? You get whacked by a news event. Now, it came overnight, I believe, because again, this opened where it was. How do you manage a position like this? This is a great learning opportunity for everybody. Why? Because these things fucking happen. Why? I've been saying the trend's going to go up this whole time, and it's going to be very hard to break the trend, and we'll be able to see it, right? We've been buying pullbacks. What happened here today? You probably lost quite some value. Let's think about this in terms of how do you manage a situation where some news event comes in and does wipe out about 5% of the gain. Okay, first of all, we entered this trade over here on this candle on the 19th on the breakout of this trend line. We entered this trade because, again, we were already trading value and we were looking at the aerospace and defense trade for a while, and we wanted to catch the breakouts. We were seeing it and eyeing it as a potential with the value trade that the sector would get going and go from basically slow moving. Again, we traded GE through all here, but basically we looked at it as it'd been moving slow and now it's going to get momentum. Started to get momentum. This trade here, this again, every single decision you make in here depends on what you bought. It completely depends. If I told you, what if I asked you, which contracts do you think made the most gains from this 19th buy? If you bought it on the trendline break, do you think it was the March monthlies? Do you think March monthlies made a higher percent gain from the top to the top over here? March monthlies or June monthlies, which are, so the one that's 1 month out or fucking, I don't know, 4 months out. 1 month or 4 months. Which one made bigger gains percent-wise? You would usually say, well, the short term, of course, made a higher percent gain because it's riskier. What if I told you that the June monthlies made twice as much of a percent gain from here to here? Well, how the fuck is that possible? How is that possible? That shouldn't it be the short terms that make a higher exponential gain because, again, they're shorter term, they're riskier. That's your homework for tonight. Your homework is to figure out what the hell's going on over here. Why would, for a day like today, Go figure out and just figure out how exactly you would manage this situation. Why? Because I could tell you 100 different ways you'd manage the situation. We would be here until fucking 7 p.m., which for some of you is 3 p.m. For some of you is, what time is it? 9 p.m. And for some of you, it's 4 in the morning. So we're not going to do that. Go figure out what's going on with the contracts here. I'm going to tell you that I bought the dip. I told you I bought the dip earlier today. I did get shaken out of about half of my contracts. I was already out of some of my contracts up here because I had to sell March monthlies. I had to sell March monthlies, re-enter them, so I got stopped out today. Go figure out what's going on with the contracts on GE. Some of you are already in them, and I know some of you were wondering, what the hell am I doing right now? Because I can't tell what's going on with price. Come back tomorrow and tell me what you guys think about those. How long is too long when stocks are under supply? Example, JWN. It's a good question. Let's take a look. What's happening with JWN? We talked about it a few days ago, right? This consolidation, the inbound trend line getting squeezed with this trend line here. So the question isn't how long is too long. First of all, we only trade when it finally breaks out, right? So once it eventually breaks out, there's a lot of historical data that, I talk about a lot, that when you have a consolidation, the sooner it breaks out of the consolidation, the larger of a move it's going to make, whether it's breaking out of the upside or downside. So if it's breaking to the upside, the sooner it breaks out, so let's say it started right here, the sooner it breaks out of this triangle, the bigger of a move it will make to the upside, which we call velocity, that directional speed, right? The longer it takes and the closer it gets to its apex, the apex being the point at which the two trend lines converge, right here, the closer it gets to here, the less of a move it will make. Usually you look for from the 2/3, the halfway to the 2/3 mark. Right in here is the sweet spot. Halfway to 2/3 is the sweet spot. This would be a perfect spot. It can get rejected all the way up into here. Look what's happening. JW is a great, I'm actually happy you brought this up. It's a great example. Look what's happening here. It's getting squeezed from the trend line. So first of all, it's already converging because of the two trend lines. And now it's getting squeezed between horizontals and the trend line. It needs to make a decision tomorrow to either break back down to this trend line or break the fuck out. If it breaks out here, is it going to be slow because it got rejected multiple times? No. It just has to do when it breaks out of this two converging trend lines. This would be a great spot to break out here tomorrow. What's Nordstrom, JWN? It's a retail store. It's a retail store. It's stuck in its own supply. What would happen if it breaks out here? It's going to converge to the rest of retail stores. What do the rest of retail stores been doing? Breaking the fuck out. Don't they look a little similar? This got wedged out finally and pushed out. So yes. And again, I think we just talked about it 2 days ago, so I'm not mad about talking about it again. It's fine. But yeah, it's a great spot. It's a great spot to go get a trade tomorrow on a breakout. Again, converging sectors are really important to understand right now, where all of retail stores are making the same moves. Some of the charts, again, are on different schedules because of the supply. This one has so much supply in here that it's stuck in there. It's just stuck in the moment. It doesn't mean that it can't make a big move. This is like a launch pad, right? It's building supply, and then it just explodes, right? That's what happens. It doesn't mean that since it's getting rejected multiple times, it makes it less bullish. It's the timing that matters. The longer it takes to consolidate, the longer it's going to take for the move to happen. If that's, for instance, why flags and pennants, they're very short-term patterns. The move that comes after those are violent because it's just reacting in the same way that the consolidation was very short. The longer of a consolidation, the longer it takes for the price to move. The shorter it is, the shorter it takes to make the move to the upside. So, yep. So that's a good one. So again, something that when you guys, I'm going to start a thing tomorrow where every single morning you tell me, you don't have to, no one has to talk and chat, but I want every single day you bring up 3 tickers that you're looking to trade from the open. Your 3 tickers that you're looking at. Whether they're on support, you don't need to fucking tell anybody. You just name 3 tickers off from the open. I'll do it as well. 3 tickers that you're looking to start with. Because, again, here's one. Someone's going to bring this up tomorrow because they're not going to want to go look at charts because they think that you should just be spoon-fed because they're fucking children in I don't know, those high chairs, and they're like, "Daddy, feed me, Daddy Don. I'm here for my $80. Gotta get my $80 back." This can be on one of them. But yeah, we're gonna come up with that because again, it's a good thing to always be aware of what. If you don't know what the fuck you should be trading to start the day, then you shouldn't just be fucking trading anyway, right? I mean, I was literally dying laughing. I know Brian is a little bit more active in here, but I was dying laughing when he posted the thing that finding out that GameStop. I mean, he might have known, but some of you for sure did not know that GameStop was in the XRT chart. I thought that was the funniest fucking thing ever. I was dying laughing. If anyone doesn't know, I'll copy the message link. One of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen, because I talk about this every day, that don't buy something if you don't know what it is. And I'm going to look at the profit section in a second. I see it's popping off in there. I'm going to look at the profit, but I always say do not buy something and don't trade something if you don't know what it is. You do not go to the store and buy shit and you don't know what it is, and I'm just going to buy this thingy majig because so-and-so is selling it. I mean, that's just ridiculous. What are you going to put the fucking... It's just silly, right? Never buy something if you don't know what it is. And especially don't just do it because I told you to. A lot of you, again, there are people that, yes, they do DM me dumb shit all the time. And I call them out and they still do it anyway. I have no idea why. Like, I literally roast people in chat every day and people still do it. I mean, I have nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Ask me questions. But, if you do something really stupid and you don't even know what you're buying, you can't then ask, well, hey, man, listen, I bought something. I have no idea what the fuck it is. I have no idea where it's going. Can you help me manage the trade? Be like, listen, stop doing that, first of all. Just stop. Just get the fuck out of it. Anyway, here we go. Let's take a look at the profit section. Holy moly, I see a lot of numbers in here, boys. Okay, let's see what we got. And again, it doesn't matter what your fucking gains were. It's what you learned. So we don't get to judge how much you learned. So again, no shame. Brian, the glizzy, with the cute new emote, whatever that is. Peepo Ride Chicken. I like that one. With the plus $110. Nice number. LSU with the plus 622. $30 away from all-time high. Okay, I guess that's his P&L all-time high. Awesome number. Mobski with the big boy, 5.85%. Awesome number. Here, let me hit some Don gains in here. Great number. Mobski, big boy numbers over there. Spoon with another 8%. I think he's been positive every day for the last year now. He says, just following the charts and not doing anything stupid. That sounds good to me. Chris with the big 7%. That's a big 7% right there. Lucky number. Matt with the 285 was plus 400 until I put the jinx in the ape. Yikes. I don't know what that means, but I'm guessing he traded GME. Ecto with the minus 12. Let's see what he says. Holding through red days and re-enter some. Not worried. Okay, he's got a story for it. I'm guessing that's off the top of profit. He did say he entered GME, which would make sense. You absolutely would lose 12%. I think I lost about 20% overall on GME. On GM. GE, not GM. GE, Jesus Christ. GE. C-Trader with the 408. That's an awesome number. Good job. And David with the 90. That's a positive. We like that shit. Awesome number, guys. Awesome numbers. Yeah. $ troll. There you go. Absolutely. So again, not everything is always green and red. Was I overall green today? Yeah, I was really fucking green today. I've been really fucking green. Why? Because the nightly news 34 play. Absolutely crushing it. Again, some of you are underestimating the amount of points you can get from this. Why? Because I don't just trade the fucking underlying here. I don't just trade this. What am I trading? I'm trading... What else am I trading? What are the dumb questions that get asked in the chat? Things like, is there leverage tickers? Okay, first of all, there's the UDAO. How about the UDAO? How much is this up? Oh, it's up the exact same amount. It's just leveraged, right? Exactly. So not only am I trading the DIA, I'm trading the UDAO. Is there another name? I did post it on my list. I wonder if anyone knows the other leverage ticker that's of the DAO. Does anyone know? Probably not off the top of their head. They have to look because they have no idea. That's okay. So also trading options. Again, we're talking about hundreds of percent. It's been confirming Am I gloating? I don't give a fuck. The point is that it's correct, and that's what the market's doing. And as long as the price is moving that way, that's what's happening. So we don't need to tell ourselves stories or anything. This is like fucking Aladdin riding the carpet singing songs. That's what I'm basically doing. Neighbors hate me. Anyway, this is good stuff. I mean, I'm going to talk about this and use this. This is like when I don't know, normal people have LinkedIns. I don't get a LinkedIn. I just fucking link them my trade, right? What else do I gotta do? I don't have to work. Some of you don't. Some of you already quit your job. You never have to go do a fucking interview again, right? I'm never gonna work for somebody, so I don't need to put my resume. They just know what I trade. They can fucking see it. It's public information. All of the trades get sent to the SEC. SEC knows my whole fucking portfolio. Fucking windbreakers. One of these days are gonna come in here and be like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And they're gonna just see little old me with the other fucking people crying in the closet, whoever you are, DMing me. And that's it, right? That's literally it. There is no inside information. There is no fucking, it's not a sham. It's the same thing every day because you guys are here every single day. You guys see the same thing every day. You want to do something, then fucking do it. You guys want to make money, put some more work in. You guys want to make money trading, look at some more charts, right? It's all it takes. 15 hours a day for the next 10 years, you'll be where I am. Good luck, my friends. You know how many hours that is? That's probably over 10,000. That's fucking for sure. So, but when you get to 10,000, you'll feel a little bit better. You've reached 10,000 hours. Good job. Some of you guys, you guys have 10,000 hours doing what? Shitting, pissing, maybe not brushing your teeth for some of you. How much 10,000 hours doing what? Sleeping, sitting. You guys are really good at sitting. Probably watching TV shows, playing games. You guys got all kinds of 10,000 hours. Turn it into making money. Have a great night. Have a great morning, evening, wherever you are. I will see you guys in the morning. I have some pretty good charts I've already looked at today. Watch out for the charts. Enjoy them. In terms of the option video, it's a slog. I'm getting through it. You will get it when you get it, okay? Don't worry about it. You guys will learn something. Have a good one, guys.